I would like you to introduce Shul.
Kaushal, yeah.
Koshel, yes. I just want to
Yes.
say congratulations on your 4K payout.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I was just curious, can you tell us a bit of your background and how you got started in trading?
Well, I am actually a finance graduate. So I was working as a project manager in a website designing company. So that is what my career was. But then I got introduced into this trading thing from one of my friend, actually. He introduced it to me and found it pretty interesting looking into the earnings, actually. It's way more than you can get as a salary from a company. So that is where I started getting into the training thing. But then it was difficult initially. So I had to take a bit of a training from a professional and learn the entire thing. And that is how I started trading.
Did you buy a course, multiple courses, or how?
I didn't buy course. There was a tutor who actually trained us. Like he used to have groups of people who used to get trained. So I was also into the group. So I
Yes.
learned the basics from there, and then gradually, while practicing, the rest has been done.
Okay, that's awesome. So how old were you when you first started trading, and how do you find out about props?
I have started just 3 years back. I'm 37 now, so it was 34 years old when I was.
Okay. Which assets do you like to
Uh,
trade usually?
I initially started with NAS 100.
Mm-hmm.
I was trading on that, but then it was a bit difficult for me. I was like it was a very volatile asset. So that is when I was looking for an option where the asset was a bit stable. So I shifted into gold, where gold was not giving so much movement at that time. It was like in a day, hardly 5, 6 points. So
Yeah.
that is when I started gold. But then recently, since the past 1 year, gold has been jumping around. But it's good because I've already done it for 2 years, so I've got a hang of this particular asset.
Wow. That's great. Gold's pretty hard. You don't know which direction will bias.
So I'm trading all gold since the past 2 years almost now.
Well, I guess it works for some people, but not me.
Yeah, yeah, obviously, obviously.
Let's talk about your emotions. How were you able to handle your drawdown and maintain psychological resilience during your trading periods? And I've noticed on your very first funded trade, you're down 3% on your 100K account. How were you able to get a payout from that after taking a loss on your first trade? Because usually most people go on a spiral after the first trade and get frustrated.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's pure maths, talking about the drawdown. Now, what I generally work on, I already know how much I can lose in a day. So I generally trade hardly 1 or 2 trades in a day. I'm not like a trader wherein you would see 10, 15, 20 trades I'm taking every day. I'm taking $100 profit, $200 profit. I don't do that. I generally look for a sniper shot wherein I'll take one trade, I'll get a good amount of profit from that, and I'll leave it for the day. So my calculation is that if it's a profitable day, I'll leave it after one trade. If it's a day where I'm making a loss, I do the same thing. I leave it there and there. So whatever is, because see, I want to utilize the full balance. My main calculation in the mind that goes, even if I lose, even if I don't get the payout or if I breach the account, I should use the full potential that the company is giving me of $8,000. I should not breach it in one single day by just losing 4,000 and I don't get a chance to make a comeback. So that is what was the mindset about the drawdown.
Okay. How do you usually approach risk management and position sizing? Do you use big
See, risk
stop
management is,
losses?
yeah.
Do you use
See,
big
generally it's 1:2 that I trade. Generally, sometimes it's 1:1 as well. Now, risk management in the sense it's all calculated as in respect to the drawdown. That's how I calculate the risk that I take per trade, keeping in mind the drawdown and keeping in mind my target for the day.
All right. What are your primary difficulties when you first started trading that most people can't get
Lot
through?
of difficulty. Lot of difficulties. If I talk about props, basically, the main difficulty was understanding all the rules and regulations. It was very difficult because I started with another company. It was not with FTM, obviously. But then again, I had breached a lot of accounts. Just in order to understand the rules, I was not clear about the rules. And every now and then I was like losing the accounts because of one rule or the other. So there were a lot of difficulties, but gradually as it progressed after losing out 4, 5 accounts, I realized all the rules and regulations. I understood that. And from there on, it was pure maths. The calculations are all in the brain now.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the consistency rule in our trading firm? We've noticed you've managed it very effectively. How do you plan to maintain this? And what can
Okay.
traders learn from your approach? As for some people, they think that it's difficult, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's not difficult because see, if I talk about the evaluation stage when we are doing, it's clearly mentioned that you have a 50% consistency rate over there. And it's very easy on the evaluation because you know the target as well. You know the target is $8,000. So you can't have a day which is more than, can't have a profitable day which is more than $4,000. So make a target of 3,600 or 3,500 for 2 consecutive days or maybe 2 days. So that makes your consistency below 50. Similarly, on the level two, on the phase two account, where your target is 5. So you know that you can't go more than 2,500. But the difficulty comes obviously when you go on the funded stage.
Yeah.
But then you have to have a clear mind what is the target that you have that you want to take the payout. My target was always around 4,200 or 4,500. That was my target. But then my plan changed because the initial trade I went into a loss. So when you go on to a loss and you start making up, and I was not clear about the consistency on the first trade because what I did, my first trade gave me a profit of $1,600. So that changed the calculation a bit. So then I went on to Discord and I asked Miles was there available. So he made it clear to me that it's not from $1 lakh, it's not from 100K, it's from everyday profit. So if you're making 1,600, your consistency had to be in that respect. You have to calculate that way. So that is how I understood. And then I calculated that, okay, so if 1,600 is my highest amount of the day, so I have to make sure that is around 44 or 45%. So that is how I calculated and I got to 4,000.
Well, there you go, everyone. That's the hack of the consistency rule. So, what do you think of our market conditions compared to the other firms?
See, what I like is basically the rules are clear because a lot of firms are there which they play around with the rules. They don't clarify the rules clearly. Like similarly, if I talk about stop loss, right? Now, or maybe the drawdown, you have a drawdown of 4%. Now, there are a few companies, they give a drawdown of 4%, but if you're using the drawdown, let's say $3,000 or maybe 3%, if you're using on a trade, they might tell that you are taking too much risk. Now, my point is always clear. You should have a rule. If you have a rule that you can't take more than 2% risk on a trade, make it clear. Because what the other firms, most of the firms they do, they don't make it clear in the beginning. Once you're making a profit, like a profit, and you're trying to withdraw it, that is when all the questions come that why you have done that. But you have never mentioned on the website or on the Discord, wherever you are, even when you go ahead and proactively ask the particular members there that, okay, I want to have a question that this is the question. Can I take more than 2% risk? They would say, yeah, there is no strict rules. But then the risk management thing comes into the aspect when you are getting a payout. But if you lose the account, there is no issues. So this is what I like about FTM, that the rules are pretty clear. So if you're abiding by the rules, you know that you will get the payout. So that is one of the best things that I like. And secondly, the most important thing, the payout time. That's amazing.
Yeah, it goes to show that not everyone agrees with the consistency because they just usually want to go for the home run, right?
Yeah, see, consistency, I don't find it that difficult because if you have that calculation in your mind, I don't think it's a very difficult subject to crack.
Yeah.
You just got to have the calculation. See, evaluation stages are very easy to because you already have a target in your mind. Now, on the funded, you should not be greedy. You should have a target. If you can have a target, if you think that, okay, I'll take $4,000 one day, so then obviously you have to, you will fall into the trap of the consistency. So keep your mind clear, keep your target because if you are getting 4,000 on one day, you have to at least get $10,000 to get a payout. So plan your move accordingly.
Yeah. So trading aside, let's talk about my prop firm. How was our customer service support when you messaged Miles? How was Miles, by the way?
Amazing. Amazing. Not just Miles, I don't remember the other names, but yes, there have been a few people whom I've interacted with. I've asked them a lot of questions initially before buying the account, after buying the account. Then on the first loss that I made on the funded stage, I had a lot of questions and they were pretty instant, pretty clear. So it was thumbs up,
Awesome.
5 out of 5.
Appreciate it. Thank you. What were some of the key lessons you learned throughout the payout, or or was everything the same for you before you started with us?
See, one thing I've learned, obviously, because the other firms where I got the funded accounts previously, there was no consistency on that. So this consistency thing, the first trade when it went on to a loss, so that was a learning, which I understood how to play around on the
Mm,
funded stage as well with consistency. The evaluation one was easy for me. It was because the target you already have. But on the funded, once you lost the first trade, the
yeah.
calculation that was there, Miles made it clear to me. So that was the difficulty that I faced.
Did you
Otherwise, it was pretty good and smooth.
did you have the urge to overtrade on that first trade you
No,
had?
no, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. As I told you, I go for just one trade in a day. If I
Mhm.
get one trade, it's a profitable trade, I leave it. If it's a trade which I am getting into a loss, I forget that day, I log out and I next day again.
Wow, okay. How has the trading community contributed to your success? What aspects of FTM community do you find most beneficial?
See,
Like the pay.
beneficial, I would say, obviously, the payout thing is definitely
Yeah,
one thing that lures everyone if you're paying them on time. Because there have been instances I have been with firms where I've not got paid. So bad experiences have been there. So then you get a company who is paying you straight away on 24 hours. And
yeah,
that's a great thing. And that too by apologizing that you have got paid in 24 hours. So that was the best thing because you guys were paying within 2 3 hours because on that day the day I made the request there was some technical glitch, so like everyone was apologizing me that it's a bit delayed. I got it on 18 hours and it was
yeah.
like very fast for me, but still everyone was apologizing that "Yeah, we are really sorry for the delay." So I understood that 18 hours is a lot of delay for you guys, so that is one thing that I'm sure will lure like all the people out there.
Give them a little talking. Yeah, so last question to end this video. Is there
Hmm.
anything else you want to share with the audience? Perhaps a final piece of encouragement for other traders aiming to your own success when times are tough? Like most people are like, for instance, your first trade was like 3% in drawdown. Most people would keep on trading until they would reach their maximum daily drawdown. How would you stop the urge of overtrading?
See, this is something how you can say as a mind game. No one can actually go ahead and help you to stop doing that. You got to prepare yourself mentally that you have to set a target for yourself, what you want to do, how much you want to lose. Because see, generally, initially when I was trading, the initial days, I also had a lot of issues on this particular
Yeah,
aspect. Because the more you lose, the more you trade.
yeah,
And secondly, the next problem that I used to face is that when my trades were going on a loss, I used to wait with the hope that it will come into profits. And when the trade was going into profits, I used to like close the trade before the TP is reached because I was always having the fear of getting into the loss once again. So that is something I worked on that when you're taking a trade, you have an SL and a TP. That means you know where you want the trade to go. If it's going on the right direction, wait till it goes there. And see, few changes obviously we make while we trade, looking into the chart and the patterns. If my TP is just 1 point ahead and I see that there's a like a sell zone coming up, so in that case I might disconnect. I might close the trade before my TP is hit. But generally, I don't like play around with my TP and SL. I keep it stagnant. I wait for it. It's all psychological. Just focus on your work. Don't trade too much. If you're going on a loss, it's a bad day, leave it, go to the next day, come back fresh. It's not something that is unachievable. People do lose. You can't win every day. So if you try to win every day, you would definitely fall into the trap and you will keep on losing. It's a loop. So if you can avoid the loop, you can definitely go ahead and do good.
what do you do on your times of losses? Because I know for sure everyone has this like, demon inside of them, that the urge of overtrading. How do you overcome it?
I just log out. I go out of the room. I don't open the laptop that day. I don't log into for the trader market dashboard.
Yeah,
I just go out and watch movies, do my work, enjoy. I don't trade that day. I don't keep that in mind because it's the same thing because the day when I get the profit also, I just forget it. It's profit. Okay. It's a part and parcel. See, it's easy for me saying all this now because I have been trading for 3 4 years now. But definitely for someone who is new, if they go on a loss, they try to recover that the same day. And that is the mistake. You should not do that. Because once you go on a loss, you already have a setback in your mind that I'm already 2K short in my account. I need to make 4K in order to get into break even, then make the profit. And you keep on trading. A small move in the market, you think it's a buy, it's a sale. But those two buttons, buy and sell, are not always there to just keep on clicking. You got to track the market, find a proper move, and then you can go ahead. So psychologically, you have to work on that. You have to prepare your mind, and then things would definitely fall into place.
Yeah, risk management first before profit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, that's everything, everyone. All right.
Yeah.
Peace out.